intro.
Hi, and welcome back to the Guide to Being an Entrepreneurship. Today we're going to talk about how to pitch in the way of an elevator pitch and to pitch to a VC. First, you want to start off and know that it has to be short. You want it to be short and has a hook and be simple. You want this because you don't have that much time. It's supposed to be like you're in an elevator, so you have a maximum of 60 seconds to get your point across and get an ask. And that's the fourth part, is have an ask. Ask for a meeting or an introduction. Make sure that they know what your product is about and that they have a hook and that you are memorable to them and that you have an ask so that you can get back to them for a short 15 to 20 minute introduction so that they can learn more about your product. That's how you do an elevator pitch. To pitch to a VC, you're going to probably want to have slides, and even if you don't have slides or a PowerPoint, you're going to want to cover these basic steps. Number one, you want to describe the problem. You want to describe a problem that someone has, whether it's organic or inorganic to you. And then for the second part, you want to give a solution, and this is where your product comes in. Your product is going to have that solution and fix that problem. Which gets into number three, describe your product. Make sure that your product is easily describable and that the person knows, the investor knows what your product is about. And that also goes along with UVP, the unique value proposition. Make sure that they know what differentiates your product from other products and how it can solve the problem at hand that you started talking about for number one. The fourth one is target market and target audience. You want to explain to them your product and then how you can target different segments of the market. So if you want to target millennials, make sure that you know how to target millennials, and then you describe that in the pitch. You want to say, we're going to go through social medias and buzz marketing like maybe Red Bull does. So have that down for number four. Number five, make sure you know your competitors. Talk about your competitors and make sure that the investor knows that you've done your research and that you know what each competitor brings to the table and how yours is different and how yours is going to succeed. Number six, talk about your team and the reasons to believe in you. That's a big part of this. Is right now it's just basically an idea, and the investor is not only investing in the product but really in you and your team. So talk about your team, make sure that you have a credible background and that they trust you and know that you're going to work hard and be successful, because this is really an investment in you and not the product. Number seven, talk about the numbers and the data that you've done and that you've done through secondary and primary research. You should have done a lot of research by this point, so have those numbers out. Make sure that the data is there so that it backs up and provides support for your product and for your research. And then for number eight, just show some graphs. Make sure that it's easily recognizable and that it's easier to remember, and they can see a big portion of a pie graph or a big bar chart where it says that your product is here or the market size is here, and it's easily recognizable. Number nine, make sure you have an execution strategy and implementation strategy. You don't want to go into a meeting and say, okay, I have this product but I don't know how I'm going to implement it. Make sure you know how to execute and make sure you have a way of getting there, and that's a big part of distribution. Make sure you know how you're going to distribute your product or your service and get it to the customers. And lastly, number 10 is have an ask and a use for the money. So in this part, it's going to be a different ask than the elevator pitch. In the elevator pitch, you ask for a separate meeting. This is that separate meeting. So ask now for money and have a certain amount of money and make sure you know where that money is going. You don't want to ask for money that you don't need, but be careful, and I'll talk about this in a later segment. You're going to want to ask for about 50% to 100% more than what you think you'll need, but make sure you know where that money is going, because they're going to want to know where it's going, and if you don't know where it's going to go, they're going to push you to keep using it, and that's how you get different things of loss of money and a failure of a startup. That's all for how to pitch. Thank you. I'll see you next time.